Hi, I'm Anne Bowditch and welcome to another podcast in my men's mental health series. I just want to talk about men feeling they need to be the strong one. I think this is still quite common, and it's so often that when a family goes through a difficult time, for instance, maybe a bereavement or some sort of family breakup, or somebody in the family has had their own mental breakdown, you feel you've got to be the one just holding everything together. If you do that, and particularly if you keep doing that, at some point something will give, because if you think of each time you're holding it together, you're being the strong one, as a weight going down on your shoulders, at some point something's going to crack. And that may for you lead to anxiety or depression or a full-on mental breakdown or any old host of physical health issues as well, because there is a definite link between what goes on in our mind and what goes on in the body. You need your own release. You also need to be able to speak and you need to be able to cry. So being strong is something you might feel you need to do at certain points in your life, but also ensure that you're speaking to people as well, and never be afraid to let your emotions out, because it is important that you have a release as well. And everything that you bottle up just stays there and cooks and brews, and then at some point it's going to bubble over. You can talk to all sorts of different people. Now, for instance, I call myself a modern day therapist, and I use various techniques. I use a lot of hypnotherapy and a technique called emotional freedom technique. But also the way that I work with my clients is that I talk to them on a very one-to-one, there's no hierarchy type basis there. Sometimes it's about getting an unattached person's perspective on something is actually really important. I can look at things and just give you a different dimension on something, or just having that person who says to you, well, are you doing this for yourself? I had somebody recently who suffers anxiety, and a member of their family was going through a very tough time. It was still very new in terms of what was happening. And I just reminded this person not to get too sucked in themselves, because if they did, the chances are they were going to go on a spiral downhill themselves. Just be aware that all those knocks that you've taken, they are mounting up. And if at any point you feel any sort of issues bubbling, whether it's some insomnia kicking in, whether you've noticed that you're developing unhealthy habits such as alcohol, dependency on any level, you might not call it dependency, but it could well become that. Maybe you've taken up smoking or eating habits that are unhealthy for you, or if you're going into a spiral of depression, just not feeling right in yourself, because I know depression can be a difficult one for people to understand what they're going through at the time. But if you feel that you're not yourself in any way, or that you feel on some level your general health is suffering, that is the time to go and speak to somebody. Do not wait until things really get out of all control, because you can still bring someone back from that point, but it takes more work. If you can go and see someone at an early stage, then chances are you won't need too much treatment, and then you know that you've got that support. I think one of the things in terms of the clients that I work with, they come and see me and we get them in a good place. Now, we all have to acknowledge that things happen in life and those things can set you back a bit. So my clients know that if anything comes on in their lives and they need a bit more help from me, that they can come back and see me. So they've got that support structure in place. And sometimes it's just, a session or two and they're in a better place again. I remember a little while ago, I'd seen this person for anxiety. We got them in a great place. They had lots of confidence. And then something sort of happened at work, I don't know, about a year later. And they contacted me because they thought it was them that was not right. And when they came to see me and they explained the whole situation, I said, no, it's not you that's not right here. The situation at work is not right. You need to go and speak to people at work and say, this is not right, and get this straight, because actually you're fine. And so for that person, it was really invaluable because in the past they might have doubted themselves. So just having a support network of some description, and you don't have to see anybody through the doctor. There are lots of natural stroke holistic type practitioners out there who are properly qualified to deal with these things. So don't feel that you've got to go down any medication route or anything like that. But the important thing is there nowadays are lots of really well qualified people and experienced practitioners who are very capable of dealing with these things. It's just a case of finding the right person for you. So I hope that helps. It's a really important topic. Please, as I say, do pay attention to how you're feeling. Thank you for listening. I'm Anne Bowditch. You can find me at hypnotherapy.gg or energyofanxiety.com. My book, The Energy of Anxiety, is available on Amazon. And I will be doing some more podcasts because there's plenty to talk about. If you have a question, then please contact me through my website.